Look, I need to tell you something that's been eating at me for months. January 1st, 2024. I'm sitting there with my bank statement, and I make $67,000 a year. That's decent money, right? But somehow, I have $487 in my checking account, and I genuinely couldn't tell you where the rest went. So I did something crazy. I tracked every single dollar for an entire year, and what I found? It completely changed how I think about money. But here's the thing. This isn't just my story, because when I started sharing what I learned, hundreds of people told me they had the same problem, making good money, feeling broke. No idea where it goes. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't some budgeting lecture. It's the actual math behind why you feel like you're working hard, but getting nowhere. So, here's what happened in the first month. I used a simple app, nothing fancy, and started logging everything. Coffee, $4.75. Lunch, $13. Spotify, $10.99. And by day 30, I had spent $5,847. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's just one expensive month. That's what I thought too. But then February came, $5,923. March, $5,701. I was averaging $5,824 per month. That's $69,888 per year. And remember, I make $67,000 before taxes. After taxes, I take home about $51,000. Do the math with me here. I was somehow spending $18,888 more than I was taking home, and I wasn't going into debt. So where was this money coming from? This is where it gets interesting, because what I discovered is that most people, and I mean 78% according to a 2023 Career Builder survey, are living paycheck to paycheck, but they don't actually know their numbers. They just feel broke. But the feeling? That's real. The American Psychological Association found that 72% of Americans report feeling stressed about money at least some of the time. So I started digging deeper, and I found what I call the invisible expenses. These are the things you pay for, but they don't feel like spending. Let me break this down with actual numbers from my year. Subscriptions I forgot about. Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, $58 per month equals $696 per year. Spotify, $11 a month, so $132 per year. Amazon Prime, $139 per year. That meditation app I use twice, $70 per year. iCloud storage, $36 per year. That gym membership I forgot to cancel, $45 per month equals $540 per year. Total, $1,613 per year on things I wasn't actively using. But here's what nobody tells you. The real killer isn't subscriptions. It's what I call convenience spending. My convenience spending breakdown: DoorDash and Uber Eats, $287 per month equals $3,444 per year. Coffee shops, $156 per month equals $1,872 per year. Quick grocery runs at the expensive store near my house, $89 per month equals $1,068 per year. That's $6,384 per year just on convenience. And look, I'm not saying you should never order food or buy coffee, but I didn't realize I was spending $6,400 on it. Here's the crazy part. If I had invested that $6,384 every year for 10 years at an average 8% return, that's $97,851, almost $100,000 on convenience. Now, around month 4, something shifted in my brain, and this is where tracking every dollar becomes less about math and more about psychology. I started asking myself a question before every purchase. Am I buying this, or is my brain buying this? Let me explain. There's this thing called the latte factor, right? Made popular by financial author David Bach. The idea is that small daily purchases add up, but that's not the full story. The real issue is what psychologists call decision fatigue. By the end of the day, your brain is tired from making decisions, so you make the easy choice, which is usually spending money. I noticed this pattern in my data. Monday through Thursday, I spent an average of $42 per day. Thursday and Friday, $67 per day. Weekends, $89 per day. My spending was increasing by 53% as the week went on, not because I needed more things on Friday than Monday, but because I was tired. Here's what changed. I started making my financial decisions once a week on Sunday evening. I'd plan my meals, pack my lunches, and literally schedule my spending. And within 2 months, my daily spending dropped from $64 average to $38. That's $26 per day. Times 365 days, that's $9,450 per year. But we're just getting started, because in month 7, I noticed something that genuinely shocked me. I categorized every single expense into these buckets: needs, rent, utilities, groceries, transportation; wants, entertainment, dining out, hobbies; wasteful, things I regretted or didn't use; invisible, auto-pay subscriptions, and forgotten charges. Now, most financial advice says you should do 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. That's the famous 50-30-20 rule. Want to know what my actual breakdown was? Needs, 61%, wants, 28%, wasteful, 8%, invisible, 3%. That 8% wasteful category, that was $5,575. Money I literally wished I hadn't spent. And the invisible 3%, another $2,090. Together, that's $7,665 per year that I could have saved with zero impact on my quality of life. But here's what most people miss. That 61% needs category, when I really examined it, about 15% of it wasn't actually needs. It was lifestyle inflation disguised as necessities. Example, I was spending $389 per month on groceries for just myself. The USDA says a moderate grocery budget for one person is $280. I was spending $109 extra per month, $1,308 per year, because I was buying premium brands and shopping without a list. What most people don't realize is this: your needs expand to match your income. It's called the Parkinson's law of spending, and it's destroying your wealth. So here's where everything changed. Month 9. I had all this data, I knew where every dollar went, and I made 3 simple changes. Change number 1, the 24-hour rule. Any non-essential purchase over $50, I had to wait 24 hours. This single rule saved me $4,200 that year, because turns out 67% of the time I didn't actually want the thing the next day. Change number 2, the cost per use calculator. Before buying anything, I estimated how many times I'd use it, then divided the price by uses. A $300 kitchen gadget I'll use twice, $150 per use. A $50 running shoe I'll use 200 times, 25 cents per use. This shifted my entire spending pattern. I started investing in quality things I'd use constantly and stopped buying cheap things I'd never use. Change number 3, automated my future self. This is the big one. I set up automatic transfers on payday. 20% to savings before I saw it, 15% to investment account, 5% to fun money account. Total, 40% of my income redirected before I could spend it. Now, you might be thinking, that's easy to say, but I can't save 40% of my income. Look, I get it. I couldn't either at first, so I started with 10%, then 15%. Then 20%. It took me 7 months to hit 40%. But here's the thing. Every percentage point matters. If you make $50,000 and save just 10% more, that's $5,000. In 30 years at 8% return, that's $566,416. 1% more, add $56,641 to your retirement. So, after 365 days of tracking every single dollar, here's what happened. Starting point, January 2024, Income, $67,000 per year, $51,000 after tax. Spending, $5,824 per month, average. Savings, $487. Investments, zero. Debt, $8,400, credit cards and car. Endpoint, December 2024, income same $67,000, spending $2,890 per month, average, savings $14,250, investments $9,680, debt $2,100 remaining. I saved $23,930 in 1 year on the same income without any side hustle, crypto, or get-rich-quick scheme. But here's what really changed. It wasn't just the numbers. It was the feeling. You know that anxiety you get when you check your bank account? Gone. That stress about unexpected expenses? Gone. That feeling of working hard but getting nowhere? Completely gone. And here's the kicker. I didn't feel deprived. I still went out with friends, still took a vacation, still enjoyed my life. I just knew where every dollar was going. The difference between feeling broke and feeling secure isn't how much you make, it's how aware you are of your money. So here's my challenge to you. You don't have to track every dollar for 365 days like I did, but track it for 30 days, just 1 month. Use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever works for you. I guarantee you'll find at least $200 to $500 per month that you're spending without realizing it. For most people, that's $2,400 to $6,000 per year. The truth is this. You can't manage what you don't measure. And right now, most of you have no idea what your actual spending patterns are. Start today. Not Monday, not next month, today. Download a tracking app, open a spreadsheet, or just use a notes app on your phone. Write down every single dollar for the next 30 days. And in 30 days, look at the data. I promise you, you'll see patterns you never noticed. And those patterns? They're costing you your financial freedom. The question isn't whether you can afford to do this. The question is, can you afford not to? I'll see you in the next one, and if you do this challenge, drop a comment below with what you discovered. I read every single one.